Okay, so welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to walk through some more WordPress features, and in particular I'm going to align them to the 4 things that we spoke about in the workshop this week. So in the workshop we talked about 4 different components of what a good website would look like or should have, and those 4 components were UI navigation, so good UI navigation, good look and feel, so that's the actual look of it itself, good images, good video, and also good written content. So with the workshop exercise this week, we're thinking of what's the worst possible website in terms of those 4 categories, and we came up with some different things, and then we flipped it and looked at what's the best possible portfolio website in terms of those 4 components. And then everyone came up with some great ideas and posted them in the Discord channel. So if you want to go see some of those guidelines or recommendations for those 4 areas, you can jump in the Discord channel under Work in Progress and then check them out there. So in this video, what I want to look at is just quickly how we can make some tweaks or changes to our WordPress.com website in order to align it to those different guidelines and principles that you may have come up with during the workshop. So I'm going to start by looking at the first one, UI navigation. So UI, user interface, and navigation, and also the look and feel. So we're going to clump those 2 together because when it comes to WordPress, we can change the look and the feel, the UI, the navigation, all by changing the theme of our website. Now, you can see my website here. This is what it currently looks like. Here's a preview. It's got some beautiful lines down the bottom, which I totally need to get rid of. But otherwise, this is basically what I've come up with after that first video. So walking through that first video, you should have something which looks like this with a homepage. Some of your featured projects, a resume page, a contact page, and a blog page. So I stuck with the default sophisticated theme. So if you remember back to when you set up your WordPress website, they gave you a couple of options. One of them was sophisticated. It was the white text on black background. And so that's the one I chose. Now, there were about 4, I think, that were presented to us. Now, there are actually a lot more themes that are currently available to us than just those 4. So on the left here, if I click the design section, and then I click the themes button, what I can do here is I can actually see a whole bunch of other different themes that I could potentially use for my website. Now, some of these are premium. So if I go up to here and I change the selection to free, this will show me or filter basically all the different themes that I can use for free with my current website. So I've clicked free, and now it should be showing me all the free themes that I can use. And as you can see, there's still quite a lot there. Now you can filter it even further in terms of themes. So I could come up here and search by different features, layouts, columns, subjects, and styles. When we talk about thinking about the UI or the user interface and the navigation and the look and feel, we want to be thinking about having something which is fairly easy to navigate, fairly easy to understand for people who have never visited the website for the first time. So it should use kind of default menu structures, default pages, and things like that. And default themes and metaphors when it comes to web design. So this might include, having a navigation that's in the top right-hand corner, or at least at the top of your page, having a header that's there too. So this could be the header could be your name, for example, or it could be actually a big header image, which you're showing there as well. And then we basically, all these themes fairly well align to those principles. So we're pretty lucky when it comes to WordPress that in terms of user interface and navigation, it's all pretty standard with most of the themes that they offer us. So really it comes down to the look and the feel and what kind of look and feel that you're going with for your portfolio. So I would recommend picking another theme that isn't one of the first that were available, because you run the risk of just looking like all other kind of websites out there. So with that in mind, let's have a look at these themes here. So I'm interested in, let's click a couple of these. So first of all, I guess layout. I'm interested in, so they've given us 4 options for layout. The one I'm interested in is in a responsive layout. So a responsive layout is one that automatically adjusts the size of the layout to make reading and navigation easy as screens get smaller. So I'm going to click that. And so that means that as I view this website either on a mobile device or a web device, it should look good on whatever screen size I am reading it on, and it should adjust accordingly. This is important because many people access websites via their phone these days. Okay, so that's done there. So I've got free themes. I'm searching by responsive layout. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we've still got quite a few options here. Okay, I'm going to go with cyanotope. So how we could look at what our website looks like with this theme is quite easy. So if I just hover over or click these three dots here, I can click that, and then I can click the live demo link. Now this is a nice feature. It lets me open up the theme in kind of a live demo rather than just looking at images of it, and I can kind of click around and see how it works. So what I've got here is I've got this particular demo up and running. It's not bad, it's a bit dark. Let's scroll down, check it out. So yeah, I don't mind it too much. It could use more images, but I'm guessing we can integrate that. Let's have a quick look. So we've got the title here, we've got the main links up here, which is quite different or quite unusual in terms of UI. Let's click a page and check out what else we've got. So, I mean, this is nice. It's easy to read, which is good. It's got clear headers. The navigation is a bit weird. Let's have a look at some images. So, oh yeah, images look nice. They're kind of integrated. Image with captions, big images, small images. Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't really like the navigation. I don't like it there being above the title. It's a little bit weird. And then we've got this thing over here, which is the about page. That's interesting. And then socially, look, you could use this one. It's not too bad. So I could click the activate button, and then that would automatically activate it for my website and have it up and running. I'm going to click the try and customize button just to see what it looks like with my data. So this again is a nice feature that WordPress provides, and that is that you can basically see what your website would look like with that particular theme and all your content. So it's taken all my content, hasn't saved it, so I'm still yet to activate and publish it, but at least I can see what it looks like with that particular theme. Not bad. But I'm going to try and find another one. So let's go back and look for something else. So maybe we can filter it even a little bit further. So let's try style. And let's try, maybe artistic, colorful. Let's try colorful, see what we can find. There's fewer in terms of colorful, and just looking through those, they don't look that great. So I'm gonna change that. Let's try artistic, see what we get. There's one artistic one. Not a fan of that either. So, okay, that's because I have style colorful and style artistic, so I should remove both of those. Let's just go back to responsive layout. There's a lot here, 106 available, but I think we can find one that looks kind of good. That's quite nice. Yeah, let's go for this one. This one looks quite interesting. It's a different change. It's now black text on white, but it looks like it supports images quite well. So let's jump into a live demo. So let's see what this particular theme looks like. Okay, so it's coming up, and we'll be able to see, again, just demo exactly what this theme is like. So I like the text. It's good. It's nice and easy to read. This is kind of cool. Don't know what that plus button does. Let's see what this looks like on a phone. So if I click in the top left-hand corner, I can change it to be as if it was being displayed on a phone. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's activate that one. So I'm going to go with Illustrator. So as you can see, very easy to change to a different theme and to pick a theme that kind of matches the look and feel you're going for with your particular portfolio, and also has good UI and navigation. Okay, so I am going to jump straight into Customize Site. Now, we've changed the theme. That's one part of updating the UI, the navigation, the look and feel. The other part is, beyond changing our theme, there should be other things that we can actually customize within our WordPress website. And this customization is basically available under the design area again, and under the customization menu item. So we've jumped straight into it, but I'll show you how to get to it. So if I was here on my site, and down the left-hand corner here under the design menu item, the drop-down menu item, I can click Customize, and then that would take me into the Customizer section. Now, the Customizer section offers us different options depending on the theme that we've chosen. So if we look down the left-hand side here, we've actually jumped into this section before to change our menus, but there's a whole bunch of other things here that we can change to really make our website unique and make it stand out from the others that may be using this particular theme as well. So first up, we can change the site title and the tagline. That's fairly straightforward. That doesn't really change the UI, the navigation, the look and feel much, but we can add a logo and have this automatically display in a theme that supports a logo. Now, I don't have a logo. You could put one in yourself. It could be an image of your face. I'm not sure if this theme supports it, but it might. So you could look at adding a logo to make it a little bit more different. We can also change the colors and the background as well. So what's nice is that we've got the default background set up, but we can actually choose different palettes. And this will change the complete look and feel of the website as well, depending on, again, if the theme supports it. So I'm going to go back to default, just keep it as the color palette, but I'm guessing it changes things like text colors and the link colors and things like that, as well as the background. We can change the fonts. So again, this is quite nice. There's a whole bunch of different fonts that we could use. Again, if you want something, maybe that doesn't look too professional or it looks a bit old school. If you want something that's going to be easy to read and it potentially has a bit of character, but also mainly reads well is the most important thing. So I recommend some kind of sans font. So a sans serif font is always good. There's some default ones there, or some basic fonts there that you could use quite easily. Let's go back to the default. Maybe we're stuck with this one. Okay, Merriweather Sans. Oh, that's right, I'm looking at the wrong one. So okay, let's go back, change this. I like Lato's pretty good. It's very big. Let's go, we could change it to make it smaller as well. So you can change kind of the heading font sizes and the heading font as well in this particular section. Okay, so I'm just going to undo that, make it back to the default, click back. Now, you can also add a header image in the themes that support this. So let's see if this particular theme supports it. Yes, it does. So here there's a couple of default header themes there, but what would be better is to add a new image, which is probably a picture from your game to make it kind of customized for your particular portfolio. So I would recommend going in and changing the current header to include a picture of your game. So that is that. Other than that, there's a couple of other things. CSS we can't really change unless we have a premium plan. Widgets, these are added to the footer area. So down the bottom in the footer, we can add a widget. You don't really need a widget, but it does provide some interesting functionality that you could present. So for example, you could have things like maybe a Twitter feed could be a possibility. A couple of images, a MailChimp subscriber pop-ups are allowing people to subscribe to a newsletter if you want to create one. A list of pages, so other menus and things like that. So there's the Twitter timeline. So you could add that to the footer if you felt like it as well to customize it. That's basically it. Beyond that, there's a couple of other things depending on the theme, but that is a way to change kind of the UI, the navigation and look and feel of your website quite easily by picking a different theme and then customizing that theme. So those are the first two elements that we talked about in the workshop. The second one was written content. Now, there's not much you can do in terms of the CMS or WordPress helping you with your written content. This will come down to you writing professionally. So the main thing to think about with your portfolio is that you can have character with your portfolio, but it's always important to keep it professional, because if you think about the people who are going to be viewing your portfolio, they're people who are going to be employing you. They probably want to see your professional side. It doesn't mean you can't have character, so you could try and have a bit of character, but just be careful that character may come across as kind of unprofessional at times depending on how you present yourself. So using slang, using swear words, things like that, probably not the best, so keep it professional. There is some interesting plugins as well that are available though to help you with your writing. So one of them is Grammarly. So if you may have seen this before, let's head to grammarly.com. So this is interesting. It's a free plugin which you can add to your browser or to the documents that you help write, and it helps you write. better, basically. So, you can see what it does here is it's basically looking at your grammar, looking at your words, your spelling, and providing you with suggestions on how to make it better. So that's Grammarly. That could help you with your written content. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about are images and video. Yeah, right. Okay, so let's jump back into WordPress. So when it comes to images and video, there are a couple of options on how you can present the images and the video on your website. So let's have a quick look at my website here. And okay, so we've got some images here as a gallery. Those are for our games that we can click through to see the featured projects. Let's jump in, let's go to contact. Okay, so say I want to put an image in here. Let's go into the pages file on the left. The pages menu element. Let's click the contact page, and I'm just going to click edit. And I'll just show you a couple of the features that you have when it comes to images. So you can basically directly embed an image at any point within your pages or your blog posts. So I'm going to just click the plus button. I'm going to add an image down the bottom of my blog here, bottom of my website here. I'm going to click the image. So the way it works is you can upload images directly, and that's great, but there's a few things you should consider when you are uploading your own images. The biggest one is basically the file size of your image that you're uploading. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to access your website, and having smaller file sizes is important because it reduces the loading time of your websites. Saying that though, you do want to represent your game in a very kind of high resolution way. So if you do have screenshots or screen grabs of your game and you want to make sure that people can see the detail, then you need to find kind of this balance between a very large file, a high resolution, and also something that loads quickly on your website. So you can upload these directly, and you can jump to your media library as well and upload images there. So I'm just going to insert one of the default ones that comes with WordPress. So as you can see here, it displays it. It's kind of most of the page width there. Now if you look here, there are a couple of options to change the alignment. And with the images, this is quite interesting. So we could align it to the left, and we could have content on the right-hand side of that. We could align it to the right, we could align it to the center. The other two options are a nice way to make our images look pretty good too. So we have wide width, which makes makes the image larger basically on our website. And then we also have the ability to make it full width. So it takes up the full width of the website. So this is perfect for showing a screen grab from your game if you have one, nice high detail. Now, as you can see, this image is definitely not optimized for this particular resolution. So we actually need a better image for that. So you may have images that you add from your game, screen grabs, things like that. There are other websites out there. If you just want to add nice images to your portfolio, you can grab free images out there to add. So one website that I use quite a lot for my presentations and things like that is Unsplash. So this is a fantastic website, unsplash.com, where you can find basically freely usable images. So you don't need to give any credit, although it is nice to give credit to the person who created the image in the first place. But otherwise, you can take these images and you can use them for whatever purpose you have. So I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to look for a video game image. Okay, let's go with this one here. I'm just going to click this and I'm going to download this. So I'm going to use this as a header for my portfolio. Great. Now, when I've downloaded that image, let's actually look at the size of that image. So we've downloaded it. If I bring it up, so I'm viewing this on a Mac, it comes up in preview. Looks pretty good. But if we have a look at what size and what resolution we've downloaded it at, so I'll just get rid of the old one. So here you can see that the image itself is 2.7 megabytes, which is really big for an image that is going to be displayed on your website. And we can jump in and we can see the resolution. So the resolution is massive. We don't need an image this big and this big in terms of file size and this big in terms of resolution. So we should probably scale this down to make it faster to load, but still make it look good. So to do this, there's a couple of ways. I'm going to open it in an image editor. I've got one called Pixelmator, but you could use Photoshop just as easily to do this as well. So in here, I'm just going to basically change the image size. So I'm going to say that most people will be viewing it on either mobile or some kind of desktop with 1080p resolution. So I'm going to take it down to a width of 1920. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to just export it. Now, when you export your images, if it's some kind of photo or a screen grab, which has a lot of resolution or photorealism to it, you probably want to export it as a JPEG. However, if you have an image which is mostly vectors, so if you have a 2D game, it's mostly vectors, it's shapes, lines, colors that are fairly solid, then you could probably get away with exporting it as a PNG. You can already see, though, because this is a photo, basically it's a photo, you can see the difference in file size. So already, because we've reduced it, the file size down, we've reduced the resolution down, we can see the file size is quite small, or a lot smaller than it previously was at 423 kilobytes. The PNG, though, very high still. So this is definitely, we want to export this as a JPEG because it's a photo. Now you've got the ability to often change the quality in, say, Photoshop or other image editors that you're using. I'm going to take it down to about 90. We could make it 100%. At that point, it's 531 kilobytes, half a megabyte. That's okay these days, but I always like to save data where I can, so we could probably take it down. Let's take it down to about 90, so 423 kilobytes. I'm going to export that, take it back, replace the original image, and let's see the image that we have now. So it should be much smaller, so it's 423 kilobytes. Saying that, though, we reduced the quality down. Let's have a look. It still looks pretty good. So even though we have reduced the quality and it's only 90%, it still looks pretty good on this screen. So let's go with that. So back into our WordPress website, I'm going to remove, yes, let's remove this one and add another one. So remove that. I'm going to add another image. I'm just going to drag that one that I just downloaded straight in. So that should upload, and then I can make that full width, and that looks pretty good. So that's adding images to your portfolio. In terms of video, again, very straightforward. So if I wanted to add a video to this contact page, let's add one. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to add a video to the contact page, but I'm going to do it anyway. You'll probably add one to your portfolio. So let's add one, yeah, just here. So the best way to get your video showing is basically to upload it to an existing video website, such as YouTube or Vimeo, and then just pasting the link directly into the block that this provides. So let's grab a video from YouTube. So I get the video for our latest game, the trailer in, and that's it. So I've uploaded this one already to YouTube. I just have to paste the URL in there, and then it shows. Now, the block's a bit weird, or it can behave a bit weirdly, but it works in a similar way to the photos that we saw before. So we can have a full width video, although it doesn't look full width. If I was to hit the preview button, we can see that when we're actually visiting the site, the video will be full width. So, well, it was before. It flashed full width for a second. Let's just change that. See, so it's full width on the tablet. It's full width on the phone. Let's go back to desktop. That's interesting. It did work before. So let's jump in and have a look. So we got full width. Clicked there. Yeah, okay, full width is selected. Let's have a look at wide width at least to show you. So you can see that although the video is not going to the wide width, if we go into preview, then we should be able to see it go, well, we should be able to see it have a little bit more wider coverage. So yeah, we can see the video is now wider than it is showing here. So you can basically display the video in a way which is wider as well, in a similar vein to the images that are there. Okay, let's see if it works this time. It flashed full again, but yeah, maybe I'll play around with the blocks to see if you can get it working. So that is images and video. that's basically covering the 4 things that I wanted to talk about. So we talked about how you could change the theme. We could talk about how you could customize your website, how you can add images which look good but are a lower size, how to embed video, and then there's also that Grammarly plugin, which is quite useful for your written content. So we talked a bit about that. So that covers those 4 things. Have a think about those 4 things in your website, in your portfolio. And I would recommend playing around with some different themes and playing around and customizing it to try and, make it look a bit unique and make it reflect who you are as a person, and particularly think about the audience that you're going for as well. One last thing I wanted to talk about, which Joel brought up in the workshop this week, is that WordPress does have ads. So I don't know if you know this, but if you are not logged in and you view your website, you'll actually notice that there are ads that are displayed, and this is because this is the free version of WordPress. So if you were to upgrade, you would not see those ads on your website. So let me just grab. So I'm just grabbing the URL here. You can see I'm on this website. There's no ads currently shown, but if I open up a private browser, so I've got private browsing enabled. I hit enter and I jump in. So this is as if I'm seeing it from the perspective of someone who's not logged in to WordPress, or not logged, basically us as we're not logged in. So as you can see, there is a bar at the top which says create your website at wordpress.com. If we scroll down, there's a powered by wordpress.com link as well. So just to let you know that when you aren't logged in, there will be ads that are shown on your wordpress.com website if you haven't upgraded them. Now, for the purpose of this subject, you do not need to pay to upgrade. We are fine, and we'll take that into account when it comes to assessment. But at the end of the semester, if you want to continue using this portfolio, then you may actually consider upgrading. And I think for WordPress, the upgrade starts at about $6 a month. So I think I had it up here before. So if we have a look over here, back into our website, hit the upgrade. And so we're a blog and a personal site. It's just your portfolio, so that's fine. And for $6 a month, which is billed annually, so you'd have to pay for 12 months, then you get a free domain for 1 year. So you could have www.yourname.com. You could have and remove those WordPress ads and have a bunch of other things. So it's up to you if you want to upgrade. You don't need to do it for this website. You can stick with the free one, and we'll just take it into account that there are going to be ads on there. Great, that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me via email or via Discord. Thanks.